Hello there. I hope you had a good holiday. You had a nice Christmas. You had a good, like we say in German, Rutsch in the new year. Um, I want to talk, and I know this is quite late, about what happened in Berlin. I'm late because, first of all, I really am too busy with my kids to make these videos on time, like you see in my channel. This free time, like my first video, from my first video to now, but perhaps you can understand it. I try to improve that. And the other reason why I didn't react earlier is I wanted to wait till I got more information about what happened in Berlin. And I guess now, after the New Year's Eve, I will not get any more useful information anymore. Um, First of all, I want to talk about how crappy, no, not crappy, it's not the right word. Um, what kind of bullshit the reaction of the German public, from police over media to politic, was and is to this attack. Um, I don't know how much you are into Germany and how much you're into the German language, so you are maybe informed what happened after it. If not, here are some examples. Right after the incident, right after this truck crashed into the Christmas market in Berlin, like a couple of incidents in France during the last 2 or 3 years, um, which were all committed by Muslims who were screaming Allahu Akbar, which some German reporters, by the way, denied after the Nice attack. Um, after this after this history of this kind of attacks, the first hours, the German media and even the German police still went to shut down everyone, screaming out that this must be an attack, must be Islamic terroristic attack, terrorist attack. Um, this meant that we had an Islamic terrorist killing people, jumping out of his vehicle, of his truck, running through Berlin, and escaped. As someone who once worked in the military, I'm completely baffled that this did not had any effect on how we look at this incident at all, because you have a free running terrorist around while the German police refuse to say to the people, may or may not, but to be on the safe side in this, please all go home. Don't leave your home. Don't come to the Christmas market. Don't come anywhere together. Don't gather in crowds. Um, please stay at home. We may have terrorists running free through this city. We have seen this in France, in England and Spain, um, after the attacks or the assumed attacks of the terrorists, that the police is literally going to secure the whole area, asking the people to stay inside. And as Germans, we have this last year, only some month ago, an incident in Munich when a young Iranian guy murdered a big couple of people who were at the wrong place at the wrong time or were lured by him to this place. And in the first moments, the police thought it would be a terrorist attack, but it was also reported to them that there are three guys on the run with rifles after this shooting. So they called in police out of nearly whole Germany, and they shut down the city and requested the people to stay inside. Don't move outside. Stay in your flat. Stay in your house. Don't show your head up the street. Don't pop outside. And the people followed that, and the police was praised over their good work and their work to secure the people. And in Berlin, we have seen police saying, "Oh, please don't speculate in the social media if this is an attack or not." This is the major reaction of the Berlin police, and this has no reaction of the public at all. I don't see people going for the police chiefs there and say, dude, you had some armed terrorists running through Berlin. Yeah, there was a possibility this was an accident. 10%, maybe less. Well, this is one of the many points I'm really concerned about this. The second major point, and I want to end this to not become too long, is the fact that some days after the attack, some politicians made an appearance on this place. Not the next. I don't talk about the next day when our counselor showed up and looked like, oh yeah, boring looking time again. But some days later, some Green politicians stood at this place and said, we can leave this incident, we can't leave this place to the right-wing populists, to the right-wing extremists, to the xenophobic haters we have in this country. And I really can't understand how someone do this. I'm able to understand many people and their motivations. I do not share, but in this point, as a human being, I could not stand on a place where an Islamic terrorist who came to Europe as refugee, as one of these beloved harmless people who can't be terrorists like we were here in Germany assured the first year all the time. It would be ridiculous to believe that ISIS or ISIL or the IS, however you want to call this sick shit, that these people would exploit the flood of people and the absolutely exhausted German system of immigration. So he stood there, this politician stood there and talked about not leaving this incident to some people who could abuse it for their political views and goals. Is anyone else listening and thinking you, sir, are the same sick idiot those are who killing for this religion? We all know which is meant. Because he, as a left-wing politician, stand there accusing his opponents, the right side politicians, to abuse the incident just days after the bodies of the dead were taken away from there. If I had to hold a speech some days after this attack on this place, all I wanted to say is how deeply I regret the loss of the families, how deeply I feel with the wounded, that I share at least in thoughts, the pain they had to feel, the fear, the people who were wounded and lucky to survive unharmed. This this would be my goal as a human being, talking about being human, about humanity, about being a good inhabitant of this country. But instead, this left wing asshole stood there talking about not leaving this incident to the right wingers. Incredible bullshit. And again, the German public did not really react at all to this. And third but not least, I have seen the well-earned interest into the Polish truck driver. Did he fought back? Did he save the lives of uncounted people by stopping the truck or crashing him before time, and calling him a hero, collecting money for his family? I absolutely think his family earned this money. I absolutely think every of the victims and the families of the killed earn money, especially from my country, which wasn't able to protect them. Germans, Italians, Israeli, what was the other countries they came from? I'm not sure anymore. They all earn money. They don't deserve all to be called hero. I don't think the Polish truck driver at this point can be called hero, because we don't know exactly what happened. I really wish he was a hero and fought heroic against his murderer before he was killed, but I'm not sure about this, so I can't call him hero right now, sadly. But the next thing I have seen was the real public interest of Italy, represented by the president and other officials who took part of the coming home of the killed Italian woman, who was pro-refugee, by the way, which is such a black irony. And we here in Germany don't even have politicians, especially not those. We are the better humans by letting all these people coming into our country, who attended the families, the funerals of the killed. We don't know the names of the most of them. We know the names of some who had some circumstances in their life, like that one gay guy who was for a time in the United States and lived now with his US citizen partner here in Germany. But the most German names we don't know. We know the names of the visitors, of the people of foreign heritage, of the immigrants. These names we know, but we don't know the names of the killed Germans. And like I said, our politicians did not take part in the funerals. They were not the central point of journalistic interest in the days after the attack at all. We did not care. I really don't get in my mind why we don't care for the victims. I already seen this in the incident at Brussels, the bomb on the airport, in France, the several attacks in France. The German media and the German public and the German politicians did not really care for the people. When in 2012, I remember this fucking Mohammed Merah. I really hope he burns in hell. Who killed small Jewish kids. He grabbed, after he killed the father and two young boys, he grabbed the girl, dragged her into the school, if I remember right, and he filmed like he abused her, not in a sexual way, if I remember right, before he killed this scared to death poor little sweet girl. And he was proud of it, and he posted it. And not only her, I also have this video out of Brussels airport with this crying small kid sitting on the corpse. I guess it was the mother, and just screaming and crying and calling the few words it had learned around her or him, and I don't know what sex it was, the destroyed airport and the bodies of the wounded and dead, the few rescuers working hard, the survivors tumbling around. And those people are who I am interested in, that didn't deserve by any meaning to face such a fate. This is causing a gap between the people. This will lead into hate between the people. All people who were cared for are the refugees and the immigrants. Don't hurt their feelings. Don't prejudge. Don't, by any costs, do something like racial profiling. Also, you see and know these big number of North African men is coming to the 1 year anniversary of a rape festival just to repeat it. Don't do any racial profiling, and this is making me insane. These people pretend to be the human thinking, they have the compassion, the warm and open heart, are the welcoming people who just look for the people and not for the skin. And in fact they look for the skin. As long as it is not a Polish guy, a Spanish guy, a French guy, and especially not a German or girl or woman or whatever in white. And this is the hard thing at all. Where are those human rights activists, these social justice warriors, these politicians, when it comes to the families, of the killed, to the survivors, to the victims and wounded and traumatized people of the terror attacks? They are nowhere. They literally don't give a shit. They did not ask for them after 9/11. They did not ask for them after the bombs of Madrid and London. They did not ask after Heathrow. They never ask for the victims. They only have compassion for the possible victims below the immigrants. And this makes me sick. Thank you for listening and watching this very long video. I'm sorry I extended it still so much. I'm really thankful. After these horrible stories, I hope you still have a good day and a nice night. To the next time. Bye.